I have here a list of documented by not only by nosotros, also by the organization of B'Tselem, the Israeli for Human Rights, that the buildings were damaged or destroyed only since the year 2000, 77,433 buildings. 69,033 are damaged completely, 8,103 partly. This is in West Bank. The problem of Jerusalem is more complicated. In the moment that Israel occupied East Jerusalem, they destroyed 8,500 houses, 135 school and mosque, 200 buildings very near to the mosque of Al-Aqsa. All the area of Morocco, Hayy al-Magharib Siyama in Arabic, was destroyed completely. That is in Jerusalem. In Gaza, in the last aggression, completely destroyed 4,000 buildings. 20,000 was partly destroyed. 15% of the buildings of Gaza Strip now is destroyed in only 21 days. Now 6 years, Israel is not allowed neither the PLO nor the government of Hamas to enter one sack of cement to rebuild Gaza. Thousands and thousands of people, families, children, old people are living in the schools, and they have to disappear during the day for the children to have classes, and in the afternoon they are using the classes as bedrooms. So that is the situation of housing for the Palestinians. Of course, there are rich Palestinians who have very beautiful houses, but 99% are poor people. They are not living a normal life. Well, we are more than 44 years now under occupation. Occupation, you might not understand how hard it is, how ugly. For example, let's say that I'm a Palestinian living in Palestine in these areas B and C, and I have a piece of land and I have money and I want to build a house on my land with my own money. The occupation will not allow me. According to the B'Tselem, which is an Israeli human rights organization, 98% of the appeals for the Palestinians to build houses in their own land, it's not approved. So imagine the family would double 3 times in 40 years, and even they still have to live in the same house. Well, in the other side, which is the Israeli side, the Israelis are taking Palestinian land by the military force, building settlements against the international will and religious unity, and bringing people from all over the world, immigrants, living in a stolen land, drinking a stolen water, even breathing a stolen air. So this problem of settlements, we are suffering from it. Actually, we have Madrid conference and bilateral recognition between the PLO and Israel only to stop the settlement. But what we have found out, we are negotiating with Israel now more than 20 years, that this settlement is 4 times double. So 2 years ago, the leadership of Palestine decided to stop negotiation until that Israel stop building settlements and put an end to this policy. Actually, if we didn't do so, we will have nothing to deal about it. We have nothing to negotiate about. This was one track that the Palestinian leadership was working on it. The other 2 tracks, they are working parallel with this is building the infrastructure of the independent state. You know how difficult it is to work to build a state under occupation. But the Palestinian people are hard workers, committed to its goal and to its future. That's why we have finished the program of Salam Fayyad, the Prime Minister, to build the infrastructure of the independent state. And now with the commitment of the European Union and the World Bank, we are ready to govern ourselves. The third track that the leadership was working on it is to get recognition of the international community. We as PLO, we announced our independence in Algiers in 1988 to have Palestine as independent state with East Jerusalem as a capital. Immediately in 88 we had like 70 countries recognized the state of Palestine immediately in the same day. From 88 till now we have 126 countries recognized the state of Palestine and Jerusalem as a capital. Now we decided to go to the United Nations because we were, as PLO, we were observers as PLO in the United Nations. In 88 we became observers also, but with the name of Palestine in the PLO. And now, since the division of Palestine in 47 has already decided to divide Palestine to two states. We are going back to the division of Palestine that the United Nations decided to divide Palestine in two states. One of them is not completed, which is the state of Palestine. Going back to the division of Palestine, I want here to explain something. Palestine is the land of the three religions. Jesus himself was born as a Palestinian. We are honored that he was born in Bethlehem. We have the religion of Jewish and we have Muslim. In 1917, it was like this. 2% of the population were Palestinian Jewish, 35% of the population were Christian, and the rest were Muslim. Why I took this year 1917? Because something very dangerous has happened, that Balfour, the Prime Minister of England, gave a promise to Rothschild, who is a businessman of Jewish community in England, to give Palestine as a homeland for the Jewish people. Although in the first Zionist Congress, which was in Bâle in Switzerland, they decided to have homeland for the Jewish either in Uganda or Argentina, and if not in these two places, in Canada. So Palestine was not questioned at that time, till Rothschild and Balfour make this promise. From 1917 till 1947, Palestine was under the mandate of Britain. These 2% of the Jewish Palestinians were 22% of the population, because thousands and thousands of immigrants were coming with the help of the economy. And the first revolution in Palestine was in 1922 against the British because they are helping the immigrants to come. In 47, the division of Palestine, it was like this: 50% of the Palestine to Israel, 2% is Jerusalem, all Jerusalem for the United Nations, and 48% for the Palestinians. Of course, both of us refused this division. The Palestinians refused because they are 20% of the population and taking 50% of the land. The Israelis refused because they want the whole coast of the Mediterranean. That's why between 47 and 48 there was a documented massacres, like 48 massacres was taken against the Palestinian people.